Okay, now from the initial presentation of this particular unit, which is Unit 3 of the SAT Math, the Passport to Advanced Math, there are 14 sessions. The first session is quadratic and exponential models. So what you have here, this example is a typical example of what you may see when you're dealing with exponential or quadratic models. Now, this appears to be a quadratic model, as you can see from the answers. Now, let's take a critical look at the question. The question is looking at a barber shop that currently charges $200 and has a capacity of 200 customers. And the question here is, the barber shop is considering increasing the price, but if the price is increased by $1, the barber shop will lose 10 customers. So the issue here is, which of these equations represent the revenue of the barber shop when the price goes up by X dollars? So I want us to take a critical look at what we know so far. So far, I've given you a little strategy as to how to get into the SAT, and we did a plugin, but here I want us to learn a new plugin. Now let's call that one Level 2 plugin, and I'm gonna call this Level 2. All right, Level 2 plugin is nothing but we're going to have to find a way to create our own answers. And then once we create our own answer, then we take the answer back into the equation and plug in into the equation and see which of them will give us the answer that we want. In essence, we know the answer. We want to find the x or the y or whatever variable will help us find the answer. So what I'll do is, if you read this now, always, like I keep saying in these discussions, always put yourself in these problems. Right now, you can assume you are the barber, right? Whether you want to be a barber or not, that's not the issue, but you can assume for this particular problem, you are the barber. You have 200 customers, and if you increase your price by $1, you lose 10 customers. So right now, so we can say that, look, let us assume we're going to increase our customer base by just $1, by one. Okay, so if we increase it just by $1, what will happen then is our price will be equal to $21, and our customers will be equal to this is one, in this case going to be 190, right? As you can see from here, this is the kind of thinking I want to do. What does it mean? That means your revenue R will be equal to $21 times $180, and that will be equal to $39.90. That's how much money you make. Guess what? You are assuming that you're going to increase by just X is equal to $1, right? So Level 2 plugin demands that you take this X equal to 1 and plug it into any of these equations and see which of them will give you 39.90. So let's come back here. So we're going to come back here and say when X equal to 1, then it becomes 4,000 minus 200 times 1 minus 10 times 1 squared. And this gives us 4,000 minus 200 minus 10, and I think that's a 37.90. I think it give a 37.90, something like that. So obviously that is not the answer. So this is wrong. Let's go to the next one. So here, when S is equal to 1, I get B 4,000 minus 10 times 1 squared, which is equal to 4,000 minus 10, which is equal to 39.90. So obviously the answer is B. That is Level 2 plugin. I want you to understand, you create your own answers, take the answer back, plug it in, and see if it will fit in very well. This is how you solve without knowing the algebra of this problem. So this is common sense approach. Now let's look at the other approach. If your math is very good, then we can do it this way. We know, let's say if we're going to increase this by X dollars, then we will decrease this by 10x, right? Our customer base will decrease by 10x, because for every X we go, for every one is going to be down by 10. So if you go 2, it's going to down by 20. If you go X, it's going to go down by 20 times X. That means our revenue here will be equal to 20 plus X, and our customer base will be equal to 200 minus 10 times X. So if I multiply this together, right, that should give me how much I'll make, and that will be equal to 4,000 minus 200x plus 200x minus 10x squared. See that? Now this 200x happen to cancel this 200, so this therefore becomes 4000 minus 10x squared. So that fits in very well. So if your algebra is good, obviously you know your answer is B. If your algebra is not strong, you don't run away from this problem. You go with the level 2 plugin and still get your answer correct. All right. So that is how you solve these kind of problems.